So we have a quorum, though. So
yeah, we do.
good.
And they're going to come in a little bit. So.
Is
Ready?
Lauren at the concert? Lauren's at the concert?
Does she have a kid in it?
Oh, it's Lexi. Lexi is, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, yes.
We'll call the regular meeting of Monday, December 10th to order at 6:31 p.m. and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'd like to ask our athletes, our state qualifying athletes, to lead us in the pledge, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Chair notes that all board members are here except Tom and Lauren, and they will be coming. They're over at the concert. They'll be coming in a few minutes. And Tommy's not with us tonight because she is performing in the concert tonight. So we'll move on to consideration of agenda. I don't believe there's been any additions or changes. So I'll entertain a motion to the agenda unless somebody wants to pull something from consent. If not, I'll entertain a motion to, I'm sorry, I forgot to announce that Rob is with us also tonight via teleconferencing. So thanks, Rob, for being here. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as published.
So moved?
Sandy, is there a second?
Second.
Jesse, discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. First item of business is we have a lot of kids to honor tonight. We're very proud of our fall sports teams who had a remarkable season, so we're going to be giving out pride awards to our tennis kids, cross-country kids, and our football kids who all participated in state. So I will turn it over to Mr. Perkle.
This on? It's good. All right. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here and have so many here with, as you know, with the choir concert going on, which I'm going to be swapping out after and heading to that. But excited to see how many we have in the house here tonight. All of these fall teams, their official season started August 13th, but all three of these teams, to be as successful as they are, the season didn't start August 13th. It started well before that. Some of them even a year in advance, in the weight room, on the tennis court, hitting the trails, and because of that, they all had super successful seasons. So first, I'm going to start with tennis. Undefeated season, greatest, arguably, or probably, I don't even think you can argue it, the best tennis season in Jordan history. We had the first ever team qualify for state, first ever individual, Emily Henderson, qualify for state, and just a great group of girls. And I don't know what their cumulative GPA is, but whatever it is, I guarantee you it's right up there. So without any further ado, I'm going to turn it over. Is Jill here? Or, there she is. To head coach Jill Bailey, and a shout out to assistant coach, section assistant coach of the year, Brian Martin, too.
All right, yeah, thank you. It was a great 2018 season. I guess we've kind of said that this is a storybook season, and we kind of turned things on at the right time and kind of stole Alexis's quote. Instead of making it a December to remember, it was an October to remember. And but yeah, it was a great group to work with. Standout team performance and individual performance. You know, going 20-0, and then you know the kind of the finishing on the cherry on top was the appearance at the state tournament, and Emily Henderson being the first singles player to qualify in Jordan history. So I guess I have a few of my team here: Maddie Jarabek, Emily Henderson, Jolie Wolf, Ari Krause, and Emily Randolph. And I've got a great bunch of assistant coaches. We definitely couldn't do it, and I couldn't do it without Brian Martin, who's the FIED coach and outstanding assistant coach, and then Rachel Walbricht is also I guess, our junior high and middle school coach. So I guess I got great people to work with and a great squad. So I just thank everyone, and I really enjoy what I do. Thanks.
At this time, we'd like to have all of our girls tennis players who are here come on up and we'll do a picture.
And their coaches.
Oh, and the coaches.
And the coaches, yes.
Elizabeth,
And the coaches.
Anna.
Perfect.
All right, we'll get these other ones handed out here.
Let's get the perfect spot.
Perfect. 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Thank you, ladies, very much. Congratulations. Way to go.
Next up, we have cross country. We have our entire girls team that qualified for state for the second year in a row. And we have 2 boys, neither of them here, I don't think, Christian Revlin and Jacob Strack, both qualified for state as well. This is, just like we talked about with tennis, a group that has been working on this for a long time. You can't just come out August 13th and expect to make the times that you want. You have to work all summer for it, and this group did. And they're a tight-knit group. I believe, and I'll let Coach Nylander confirm this, but I believe Basha was the first ever Jordan All-State runner. Well, I'll let him confirm. I think that she may be the first. And the team, what's really cool about this team is we have this natural rivalry with Belle Plaine, and they've beaten us in conference. But 2 years in a row, we have outperformed them at the state meet when it matters the most, which is really cool. And also in our section, we finished second to Blake. We also outperformed them at state. So we seem to be running at the right time. Our captain is a sophomore, so a very young group, everyone coming back. Very excited where this team is right now and where they're going. So I will turn it over to Conference Coach of the Year, Ben Nylander.
Thanks for having us tonight. I also would like to just congratulate the other programs as well. Tennis, football, great job. Way to represent Jordan really well. We're really fortunate. We've got a great group of kids and a great coaching staff as well. Coach Holly sends her regards. She wasn't able to make it tonight. She's busy at the clinic. But she does a phenomenal job with our program as well, so we're very lucky there. I'll just kind of highlight a couple of our successes as a team. We always like to grow as a team throughout the year, and that's kind of one of the keys that we look for. And we know that if we're running well at the end of the year, we're going to be competitive with the best. And this team really did that. They came on very strong, placing second in the conference championship for the 3rd straight year. We got second at the Section 4A meet, and like Mr. Purple said, we did get beat by Blake. But then the next week at the state championship really came together and ran probably our best race of the year, and beat both Blake, Belle Plaine, and the other Section 2 qualifier, which was Glencoe. Along the way, we had some all-conference runners in Basha, Kendra, and then also Lily Heyer was honorable mention. We had 3 all-section runners with Basha, Kendra, and Lily. And we had, as Mr. Perkle said, our first all-state runner in Basha. Very exciting. First girl ever in Jordan school history to do that. We also had a phenomenal captain leadership from Abby Bisner, which was great to see. Very young team. Everybody's returning for next year, so we're very excited about what their potential is. On the boys' side, we did come a little bit short on the boys' end for making it as a team. We were kind of matched up in a pretty tough section and ran very well, but just fell a little bit short there. Instead of making it as a team, though, we did still get 2 individuals in, and that was Christian Revlin and Jacob Strack, both of which were seniors. So Jacob was really exciting. He was a sixth-year senior. Great to see him kind of go through his whole career and really finish it off on top. Christian was almost exactly the opposite. He was about as newbie as you could possibly be. We shared him with soccer this year, and he was in his 6th race when he was running at the state championship. But it was really awesome to get to see him grow as an individual. It was great to see Jacob grow as an individual through all the years as well. Revlin ran one of his best races at the state championship, really ran very well. Jacob got tripped up early in the race and didn't run quite what he was hoping for, but still had a phenomenal season. One other person I would like to just make an honorable mention to, and that is Isaac Dole. He would have qualified for the state meet. Kind of an unfortunate incident at the finish line, which got him disqualified and wasn't able to advance. But otherwise, he would have been a state qualifier as well. So congratulations to our ladies team. Phenomenal year. All that they did, they grew as a group. They kept getting better and really put an exclamation point down at the state championship. So congratulations, ladies.
All right, at this time we're going to have those in attendance come on up for our cross-country picture.
So you have to get your picture. Come on over here.
Thank you. Thank you,
you.
Coach and ladies. Nice job, ladies. Very nice.
All right, I know we are here honoring all of the student athletes, but I do have to give a shout out to all the coaches from all 3 of these programs. They all work tremendously hard. They don't start August 13th. I'm going to keep going back to that. They are working all summer long to provide a great experience for our student athletes, and I appreciate everything our coaches do. Last but not least, we're going to dive into football, and while we're talking football, I should probably make sure the minutes reflect that Mr. Helgerson is wearing purple on his Monday night
Good catch.
It's a jinx.
We'll see. So, football. This was an outstanding group of, I believe, 22 seniors, some great leadership, tremendous coaching staff. This football thing has really taken off here. This isn't just a fluke. This isn't going to be the end of this after these 22 seniors graduate. This football team is heading in the right direction, or is now in the right direction, and a lot of credit goes to our coaching staff and all the hard work that our athletes put into it. So at this time, I'm going to hand it over to Coach Bo Wazarick.
I do promise we have a lot more players on our team than I guess it's a credit to our programs here at the school too, that we have a lot of kids that are in a lot of stuff. So we had a lot of kids concerned. Last night was our banquet, and we had a lot of kids concerned that they have the choir concert today and that they didn't want to miss either. So we reassured them that it was okay. I guess, you know, I just started, we had our banquet last night, so we kind of went over a lot of this stuff. So for the players that are here and the coaches, some of this might be a quick rerun. It was a great rehearsal for me. You know, but really, with this group, you know, it all started 3 years ago, and them kind of buying into the vision that we set. And believe me, it was something that when we set out our vision 3 years ago on what we wanted to accomplish, it was kind of it took a blind leap of faith. A lot of them didn't see what I saw at the end of the tunnel. You know, I started with our coaches. You know, we had a group of coaches that, you know, I took over when I got here. They were all part of the staff, with the exception of one. And what a great group of people that I get to work with every day. And I mean that in all sincerity. That, you know, doing this for 18 years, I've been parts of a lot of staffs, and really a tremendous group of guys to be around. We really have become part of each other's families. We do like to give each other a hard time, and make it a little more fun to be around. I was really honored last night, you know, a little bit about at the banquet. We have all of our seniors get up and speak, and we had a tremendous group of seniors this year. And those seniors get up and speak, and to a person, each one of them, one of the things that they reflected on was how much fun they had at practice, which is the first time that I've ever heard that many kids talk about having fun at practice, which to me, I thought that was a big honor for me. And I mean, this is the first that I know Thomas is here in that, but I thought that meant a lot to me, that we found a way to make practice fun, not just the games. So, you know, I thought this group, you know, I talk about greatness all the time. I talk about, you know, comprehensive greatness in your life, trying to do everything the best that you can. And, you know, to us as a program, what that means is being the best version of yourself that you can be, whether it's a team, individuals, as a student, as young men, you know, with the young women that we work with in the off season, we stress the same thing. So these guys bought into that, and they really have tried to be the best that they could be. You know, just the kids that aren't here, you know, this is, you know, primarily for the varsity kids that played for in state, but our C team this year went 5-2. You know, they lost, you know, one game in Wasika that was you might have been playing in a swimming pool. It was a mess, and the game was called short. And then lost the last game of the year in a battle against Marshall. And then our JV went 6-1. You know, one of the games we barely even got it started over at Wasika, so you know, that was kind of a draw in that game. And then 6-1, lost to Marshall last game of the year. You know, playing over NBA weekend, I think the kids started break a little early. But tremendous, you know, to me that's a reflection of where the program's headed, and I'm excited about it. Varsity 9-2, beat the team to the south in convincing fashion, you know, which was a huge thing for us, because it's been a little bit since we did that, and I had not done that before, and these seniors hadn't had a chance to do that. So that was a lot of fun. And then winning a district championship, you know, and that beating a team like Marshall, which, you know, in our locker room, we knew that that's what we were planning on doing. We knew we were going out there to win that game. But I think a lot of people that were not in that locker room, I don't know if there were many people that were thinking we were going to win that game. And then win a section championship, and then you know, didn't end the way we wanted. And every player here would tell you that. Every player around would tell you that it didn't end with what our goals were. But you know, I'd like to say we played that game in a different situation. It might be a much different result, but you play where what circumstances they're giving you. So, but we did some amazing things. Offensively, we improved from last year to this year. We averaged 41.6 points a game, which is the best in school history, and that's up 6 points per game from last year, which we were pretty dynamic offensively last year. Our biggest improvement this year, we think defensively, we started playing Hubman football this year. We averaged opponents to 15.1 points per game. That's down 13.4 points from last year. So you drop 2 touchdowns, that's pretty big. And then, you know, best yardage per game offense in school history at 455. You know, we broke a lot of records, brought a lot of school records this year: career tackles, career receptions, touchdown receptions, receiving yards in a career, which we'll get next year. Kickoff return yards. Really well represented in the all district awards. We had, you know, Ryan Fregis, Thomas Gutzler, both honorable mention. Ryan Samuelson, first team all district. Noah Schmidt, John Huss, first team. And then superlative awards that we got. You know, offensive back of the year was offensive MVP of the year in the district, Bryce Seaver. Special teams MVP of the year for the district, Marlon Wiley, and then offensive lineman of the year, Calvin Menke. So this group of seniors, you know, it's a special group to me, just because it's a group that, you know, I've gotten the chance to work with for 3 years. You know, gotten to build relationships with all these kids, and they're going to be missed. But I think Thomas said it last night, you know, talking about the foundation that they've laid for the program into the future. Because we, you know, starting, you know, right now we're working towards winning a state championship next year, and that's the goal, that's the plan. Amazing group of kids. Every year it stinks losing a bunch of kids, but excited for what the future holds. So thanks.
time if we can get the Hubbin football team up here. We'll try and.
I can do it.
Let's kind of keep sliding on the river.
Yeah, keep going, yeah, because it's going to be.
Throw. You want to take the knee?
Smile, Rob.
All right, Rob will be in there.
All right, how about one last round of applause for all three? Honoring these guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Coaches, please relay our congratulations to the other ones that weren't able to be here tonight. And just a word to all of you. You not only represent your sport well, but you represent our school and our community so well, and we're so proud of all of you. So thank you again for being great students, great athletes, great competitors, and great young people. And thank you, coaches, for helping build such wonderful kids. We appreciate you. Thank you. Okay, next is our Truth in Taxation presentation.
No one wants to stay.
Really, it's going to be a really fascinating presentation on truth and taxation.
Thanks, Mr. Perkle. You have Abby's in there that needs to be
So
remade, though.
Abby Visitors needs to be fixed. No. Thanks.
Okay.
How are you?
Good, how are you? Okay, thank you. On to the Truth in Taxation presentation. Mrs. Hofferman, are you going to be doing that for us?
Yes, I am.
Thank you.
Shut the door.
I thought they would all want to stay.
Sure cleared out quickly.
Yeah.
And nobody came for this one.
No.
Okay, so today we're here for our 2018 Cable 2019 Truth and Taxation public hearing. Minnesota's Truth and Taxation law requires that cities, counties, and school districts follow certain steps before adopting a tax levy for the following year. One important part of that law requires a mailed notice to each property owner in the county, which describes the tax levies proposed by the city, county, and school district, and 1% increase that would mean in dollars. A second part of the law pertains to a truth and taxation public meeting for each night as part of the school district's public meeting process. So the requirements that we have to follow is we have to discuss the proposed property tax levies for taxes payable 2019, provide and discuss information on the current budget for fiscal year 2018-19. The public must be given a reasonable amount of time to comment on the proposed property tax levy and budget and to ask questions. Revenue formulas are set by the state legislature except for the voter-approved referendums. Local levy and state aid mix are set by the state legislature. An increase in local taxes does not necessarily mean an increase in revenues for the school district. Now we're going to go over our current budget. Our school district is required to use a fund accounting system, meaning we account for our revenues, expense, and expenditures using 5 separate funds. The general fund, food service fund, community service fund, building construction fund, and debt service fund. The funds with an asterisk means that they have a tax levy component. So for the general fund, revenue is based on student enrollment. The local referendum levy is part of the general fund. This provides dollars for classroom instruction, instructional supplies and equipment, and other educational activities. It also provides for special education and state, federal mandated programs, extracurricular activities, pupil
transportation, facilities operations and maintenance, capital expenditures and improvements, and long-term facilities maintenance. Fund 2 is our food service fund, and that is the breakfast and lunch programs. Community service is Fund 4. This levy is based on the adult population in the district. Early childhood levy is based on the number of children under 5 years of age. Community education provides for enrichment programs for any age level that are not part of the K-12 education program. It also provides for early childhood family education, school readiness, and adult basic education. The debt service fund is based on annual debt retirement schedules for the district's outstanding bonded indebtedness. Annual levy is for the payment of principal and interest on bonds as they are due. Current debt is a result of the voter-approved bonds issued for the 2003 construction of the high school, the 2003 addition of the elementary school, and the 2014 middle school remodel and the addition of the CERC. The district has since chosen to refinance a portion of this debt, saving taxpayers millions of dollars in interest over the life of the bond repayment. So this slide shows our revenue for the 2018-19. It also shows our 2017-18 actual revenue, the 18-19 budget, and then the percentage change. So the total revenues for the district in 2017-18 were $35,091,681. The revenues for that we adopted are going to be $25,443,335, for a decrease of 27.49%, which is due because the decrease is because of the debt service refunded bond that came in fiscal year 2018. So where does our school revenue come from? 85% is state aid, 13% is local revenues, 2% is federal revenues, and there's just a small portion of other sources. The expenditure budget is, so for 2017-18, we have actual expenditures of $25,876,506. Our adopted budget is $25,295,560, which is a decrease in expenditures of our adopted budget of 2.25%. So the general fund dollars are spent on district and school administration, district support services, regular instruction, vocational instruction, special ed instruction, instructional support services, pupil support services, sites and buildings and equipment, and fiscal and other equipment expenditures. This graph shows what our expenditures pay for. So they pay for salaries, employee benefits, purchase services, supplies and materials, capital expenditures, and other expenditures. So our general fund balance on June 30th for unassigned was $2,011,983.57. Our restricted reserve was $104,815.76. Our operating capital was $18,264.38, and our non-spendables were $55,497.62.
What does non-spendable mean?
That is what I would call a prepaid. So we paid it in starting maybe February, March, April, May, and June, but it's for things that happen in fiscal year 2019. Some of our contracts, they don't prorate them. Like they'll renew a contract in January of 2018, but it expires in 2019. So then I prorated that. So half of that was spent in 2018, and the other half is in 2019. And last year there was a lot of Joe. He just prepaid a lot of his athletic contract. He calls them contracts, like tournaments for 2018-19. He paid in 2017-18.
Okay.
So now we're going to talk about the levy. So it's 2018 payable 2019, and it's for the 2019-2020 school year. So a school district tax levy must be either set by state formula or voter approved. The issues driven by legislative decisions are changes in sales ratio, changes in tax capacity rate structure, laws mandating code compliance, such as LTFM. Issues determined by district voters are voter-approved building bond issues, voter-approved excess levy referendums. pressure in the real estate market, abatements, property improvements not previously taxed, change in individual assessed market value, possible change in property tax classification. So for Jordan Public Schools, we have a maximum local optional allowance of $424. We have a board-approved authority of $300 for a total operating levy of $724 per pupil unit. So the comparison of certified payable 2018 levy with the proposed payable 2019 levy. So in 2018, we had a total levy of $5,656,273.97. I'm proposing a levy for payable 2019 of $5,852,085.62 for a dollar difference of $195,811.65 and percentage increase of 3.46%. So for the general fund, I listed all the various components, and the percentage change for the general fund from payable 2018 to payable 2019 is an increase of 13.52%. And that this chart includes all of our adjustments, the operating capital, achievement integration, and every component that goes into the general fund. For the community ed, we have a levy increase of 0.7% from 2018 to 2019. For the debt service, we have a decrease of 2.56%. So we have a total levy increase by 3.46%. However, referendum market value increased by approximately 9.15%, and the net capacity increased by 9.88%.
Do you know what our levy increase was last year? Is it similar?
Yeah.
Kind of cost of inflation, 3%.
Approximately that.
Yeah.
When this building was, just as a side note, I could be a little off, but when this building was built, the net tax capacity of the school district was 9 million.
Okay.
It's now 12.
Right.
And part of that is assessed values have gone up, but
Yep.
there's also the factor of more homes,
Yep.
increases your net tax capacity, and there have been some additional businesses built since 2014, 15, so
Okay.
there, that does affect it, you know. A lot of it is assessed value.
Sure.
So the impact of 2018 payable 2019 school district levy on taxpayers, assuming the taxable market value remained the same, taxpayers would actually see a decrease in their school district tax levy. So, whereas pursuant to Minnesota statute, the school board of the Jordan School District, Jordan, Minnesota is authorized to make the following proposed tax levies for general purposes. The maintenance general fund, $2,374,469.84. Community service, $134,005.38. Debt service, $3,343,610.40 for a total proposed school tax levy of $5,852,085.62. Any questions or comments?
Questions? We'll be taking formal action on approving the levy later in the agenda, so. Nice job.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank
Amy,
you.
very
Well
nice,
done.
very understandable. Thank you. Okay, on to public comment. We have none. Okay, on to the consent agenda items. We have the 11:13 regular meeting, 11:26 workshop, and special meeting, the November 2nd finance reports. Then we have donations from the Lions game ball. We have $692. True Stone Financial Hall of Fame contribution, donation of $1,000. Fish Lake Sportsman Club for the trap team, $295. Razoo Food for Friends, $45, and Jeff and Amy Visner for the JHS Choir, $500, and an anonymous donation to cover student fees of $5,000. We have several policies, as Matt indicated in his report, several job descriptions. We have a retirement of Dave Worm, longtime custodian at our elementary school. New hire, and we have the contract renewal of almost all of the fall coaches. So I will entertain a motion to approve the consent items.
Motion to approve?
Jesse, is there a second?
Second.
Connie? Discussion?
What's the game ball thing and the
I
donations?
can whenever you come to the football games, the Lions are there collecting $1 for a ticket when they raffle the football off.
Okay,
Yeah.
They donated back to the school.
And, yeah.
gotcha. And then what's the Hall of Fame project?
We have so many trophies that we don't know what to do with them, which is a good problem to have.
Mhm.
But the newest ones are the ones we want to display in our cases. But that also presents a problem because when alumni come back, for example, the Basketball Association has their alumni game over the holiday break. Oftentimes, they can't find their trophy. It's because we have to remove it to make room for the new one. So what this does is it's an electronic archivable system where you literally can take a picture and then you can import even the team member names for that particular year, and then it's all touchscreen, so you can go and search your year and you can see your trophy and who was a member of that team, et cetera, et cetera. And it has more capabilities than that, but that's just the general gist of it.
Okay. And then the student fees and T-Mobile, sorry, I don't mean to have all those questions.
Yep.
Is it like all student fees for those who are behind, or is it a selection process? And T-Mobile, what, is that like a mobile hotspot?
Yep, we purchased, well, we didn't purchase them, we accessed 20 T-Mobile hotspots.
I remember that.
And then they have a monthly fee of $20 per hotspot.
Okay.
And you can cut it off over the summer.
Mhm.
So we essentially are paying 9 months for that.
Okay.
And estimated around $4,000 or $5,000 for the year.
Okay.
So a majority of the donation would go to cover those if they're all deployed. At this point, I believe there's 11 that have gone out. And there is a selection process. So our Jeff and Ben at the high school and middle school did an informal student survey where they asked if students had access to internet at home. And from there, that list was cross-referenced with our free and reduced lunch list. And then we had staff make confidential calls to the family to ask if that was something that they desired, is to have a hotspot. So at this point, we've got 11, but we know there's more need out there too. So if there is more need and it's popular, we can always get more. But we just decided to start with 20 for this year. In terms of the other student fees, if there are funds left over, it would be things like oftentimes a family, especially families that move into the district or are new to the district, or if they come mid-year, they won't reapply for benefits, free and reduced lunch benefits. And the government doesn't care about that, but they care, but so let's just say it was me. I come to the district today and I don't apply for benefits until end of January. I'm accruing charges, and it's not retroactive whenever you qualify for free and reduced lunch. So you have to pay those charges, and that's a potential area that we could use the donation for.
Okay.
So it would, again, be for those who qualify for educational benefits.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second to approve the consent items. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Review and act on the middle school flexible learning day on February 21st.
I know Ben was going to try to make it back here for this, but I can field it. We've had one already. You heard at our last meeting, the feedback that we received on that. I guess entertain any questions about it. So they want to do the same thing that they did this fall. And it, again, if I remember correctly, and I'm sure you do as well, Ben's point was that it allows families that maybe work second shift, so that nighttime job, have no way of getting here and those evening conferences to come during the day. And we had good attendance and was well received by the families that we needed to see last time. So they'd like to do it again with your approval.
And it seems like they had a good plan for the few students, the handful of students that came to school. So.
And they will offer that same service again. So any family that wants to send their kids to school on that day, they'll have.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion in a second, and then we can discuss if there's any discussion.
So moved.
Sandy, is there a second?
Second.
Jesse, okay, discussion?
Madam Chair.
Sam?
I just had a question, just because we had talked about e-learning days during our policy committee meeting just a couple hours ago.
Yeah.
And is this something that because it said that we had to give the parents I think it said at the beginning of the year, but is that the plan for the snow days, or is it?
Yes.
Does this need to be included in that?
This doesn't count.
Okay.
So this isn't covered under statute. This would just be, we have plenty of hours, you go back by the
Right.
number of hours. We have
Yep.
plenty of hours of instruction built into our calendar. So essentially, this day doesn't count.
That's what I thought, okay. I just wanted to clarify.
In the state's eyes, it doesn't count.
Right.
Mhm.
Okay, other questions? Good question, Sandy.
I'll just make one more comment,
Sure.
Madam Chair.
Mhm.
We are a member of a innovation zone
Mhm.
with Southwest
Oh,
Metro.
that's right, yep.
We have not applied specifically for this piece of it, but it could be a potential application if this becomes normal practice.
Okay.
I would apply for it and see if that would be a way we could count
Oh, I think that'd be a great idea.
days.
Yeah.
So kind of like a normal school day then?
Yeah.
And we got the
Okay.
revenue.
Do
That's
we
cool.
have we applied for it, sorry, but have we applied for it for our, like ACT day and like the first day of school for the high
Yeah,
school?
we would do it universally like
Okay.
that. We would list all those things that.
That could
Yep.
potentially,
Mhm.
okay.
Yep. So anything right now that's outside of a weather-related, because we have those built into our calendar, so that's the 2nd through the 6th day, those are acceptable. We have to take attendance, and you have to be creative in how you do that, which we have a plan, and that's been communicated in the handbooks for both high school and middle school students. It was in the student handbooks and the family handbooks, so we went parent and student handbooks, so that fulfills that requirement. Then you have to take attendance, which we'll do, and teachers have to be available both via email, but also phone. And the way we work with the phone is all phone calls that we get on our school phones have the ability of going right to an email as a voice file.
Oh,
And the teachers can call those students back.
okay.
Other questions? If not, all those in favor of approving the middle school flex learning day signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, review and act on the 2018 payable levy certification. Amy did a great job of explaining that, and I'm not going to read the whole resolution to you. Amy?
It is my recommendation that the Board of Education certify the total levy dollar amount of $5,852,085.65 for an increase of 3.46%. And the levy increase for 2017-18, I did look it up, Jesse, was 3.11%.
Thank you.
It's very similar.
You're quick.
My computer here.
Great, good. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the certifying the $5.8 million number for the tax levy.
I'll make the motion.
Tom, is there a second?
Second.
Lauren? Okay, discussion.
Can I play the new guy card real quick?
Sure.
So, does this mean the taxes will actually go down with a 3% increase? Did I read that right or understand that correctly from the presentation?
If your taxable market value stayed the same as the previous year,
Yep.
you'll see a decrease.
Okay.
To your total school board taxes.
Yes. Only because the net tax capacity of the district increased.
Got it.
There's actually, I mean, it's a 3.46% increase overall.
Yep.
But essentially because of the net tax capacity increase.
Sure.
Taxpayers, if their property stayed the same,
Yep.
would see a decrease. Even, like my property tax statement, on the voter approved side, I mean, I had a significant increase in my value, but the voter approved side went down.
Right.
Did too.
Right.
The other went up,
Mhm.
Yep.
but it was, it was balanced out a little bit by how much
Yeah.
the voter approved went down. The other is really, to a certain degree, uncontrollable.
Right.
When we have more students, well, it's controllable, but when we have more students, we get more aid.
Sure.
And that's just the simple way of, it's
Yep.
more complicated than that, but we have the choice, or you have the choice to under levy, but you wouldn't maximize your aid. So we won't, Amy and I collectively won't recommend that we under levy. Now, we have.
We have in the
We have in the
past.
past, but there was some significant circumstances there where the district had collected more aid than what they should have been collecting, just because there was a clerical error back in 2011-12.
Sure.
Where our resident count was overstated.
Oh.
So the state changed the formula. In the past, it wouldn't have mattered, but they changed the way aid was calculated. So we were actually, when we overstated, we were collecting more state aid, and there was less burden on the local taxpayer.
Got it.
The state did an adjustment, therefore we had to pay back, essentially, the state. So it was a negative adjustment for us. And that caused a significant increase because we had passed this building bond at the same time.
Got it.
So what we did is we under-levied, this is a long answer, I'm sorry.
No, it's good for my context. I
We
appreciate it.
under-levied a category, it was health and safety at the time. There's no longer a health and safety, it's now wrapped into long-term facility maintenance. But we under-levied health and safety because we could play catch-up over time. We weren't gonna lose the dollars.
Sure.
We just weren't collecting them in that fiscal year.
Sure.
And now we're through that process.
It's almost like you just have to build it in 3%. That's inflation. I mean, it's almost, why wouldn't you? Unless there's a circumstance such as that. That might be the anomaly, but.
If we didn't grow, if we stayed relatively level as a school district in terms of our student enrollment, there would have been a decrease
Got
this
it.
year.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, other questions? Rob, do you have anything from your end?
I'm good.
You're good, okay. So we have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Deb Polly,
Yes?
Tom Vogel,
Yes.
Sandy Burke,
Yes.
Connie Hennon,
Yes.
Lauren Pedersen,
Yes.
Jesse Erdahl,
Yes.
Rob Langheim,
Yes.
Okay, motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Amy. 9.3, review and act on the 2017-18 Combined World's Best Workforce Summary and Achievement and Integration Progress Report.
This is a required report from the Minnesota Department of Education. We are a district that collects achievement and integration dollars. Therefore, we're allowed to combine that with our World's Best Workforce Plan, which every district in the state has to complete. And you can see under Carol's summary the purpose of the World's Best Workforce Reports. There's a statutory reference there. There are 5 goals. One is that all children are ready for school. The second, all third graders can read at grade level. The third would be that all racial and economic achievement gaps between students are closed. The fourth, all students are ready for college, career in college. And fifth would be all students graduate from high school. And it gives a purpose. I can certainly read this if you'd like. or I can just take questions that you might have on the report. You can see, we just do some highlights here. The goals that were met for 2017, 2018. All students ready for school. 51% of all kindergarten students will score at or near proficiency for kindergarten readiness skills in math and reading based on the DIBELS Next, which is it's a progress monitoring tool. And that's the fall 2017 data. And then all students career and college ready by graduation. At least 40% of our students in grade 10 will score at or above proficiency, which is a score of 22 on the pre-ACT assessment in the spring of 2018. And the third of the 5 that were met, all students graduate. Jordan High School remain above 90% in the 4-year graduation rate cohort model for the 2017-2018 school year based on the state AYP. That's adequate yearly progress report. The 2 areas that were not met of the 5, in 17-18, students in 3rd grade achieving grade level literacy. At least 65% of all grade 3 students will meet or exceed proficiency on the reading MCAs in the spring of 2018. And the second one would be closing the achievement gap between student groups, the proficiency gap, experience in math by Hispanic students and students in poverty who are enrolled for the fall academic year for all grades tested within Jordan Public Schools will be reduced by half based on achievement on all state accountability tests from the baseline data of 2014. So as you can see, you have to make progress towards, going back to the top 5 goals. All children are ready, all students graduate from high school, all students are career and college ready. So you have to constantly increase your percentage year by year in order to work towards 100%.
What's the consequences if we don't? Okay.
Let me take that back. If you're really underperforming, the state can step in and
Sure.
put you on a improvement plan.
Sure.
And this ties in a lot to our strategic planning goals and objectives.
Yes. Which, when we wrote our strategic plan, those of you who were a part of that process, we wrote it with the world's best workforce. The 5 principles of the world's best workforce in mind. It was geared toward that.
If I remember correctly though, like I see 3rd grade is down. I get that, but from the test scores we saw, I don't know, maybe a month or so ago, it seems like we're catching up. Like in the 5th grade level or the 7th grade level, we're catching up somewhere between 3rd and 5th or 7th grade. Because we weren't there wasn't a gap such as this. I mean, we're at state, if not above state averages.
3rd grade scores last year in both math and reading were not real strong, not as strong as we've consistently been in the past.
Yep.
So that's something obviously we need to take a look at those 4th grade because that's the true measure.
Yep.
See what growth those same kids achieve between one grade level.
Yep.
Because what this does, you think about why the report is flawed, quite frankly, is you're measuring different kids.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You're not
Yep.
tracking them going forward. So we do have a new, as you know, we have a new data warehouse.
Yep.
And that helps our teachers see that data more in real time. And it's, for this particular year, our professional development has been focused on, it's been a refocus on standards-based instruction, when literacy is a focus. We sent many staff and all of our administrators to training this summer on the MTSS, which is, it's the old, what's it called? I'm blanking right now. It's a intervention-based strategy.
Sure.
So it's like the pyramid model of RTI, if you ever heard of response to intervention. You have different levels of need, and you want to provide those kids with your highest level of need with the most services, individualized services, pull-out services, but also in the classroom. And the students that are on the bottom of the pyramid, those are most of your kids.
Yep.
Tier 1.
They tier 1, they are provided the least amount of interventions. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
Yep.
So all of that has been a focus of this year's professional development. Obviously, we won't know until all the test scores are tabulated, and that's, again, I would caution, that's one measure of success, and it's obviously an important one because the state grades us on test scores. So that was a summary. Are there any questions on the summary or the report itself?
Well, the gap with our Hispanic students and is pretty substantial, but it's, you know, it's good to see, and I think it's very helpful that we have the cultural responsive team. That is, I mean, they are really doing a good job, so hopefully that's going to help show some improvement there.
And there's a lot of, obviously, research that shows that when you're teaching content that is interesting to the students and within their cultural competency, that you'll see an increase in performance because kids are more invested.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, to your point, Deb, in terms of the, you know, the multicultural work that's being done. Certainly, we hope will help. Part of it is, and this is not to make an excuse, but you're talking about a really small group of
Yes,
people.
right.
So if you get a couple of shifts one way or the other, if it's 2 or 3 kids from one year to the next, it's a huge percentage.
Yep.
Yeah.
When you're talking such a small population size. Again, I'm not trying to make an excuse, but that's certainly a piece of it.
Yep.
Okay, other questions? If not, we need to take action and approve the report that Carol prepared for us here. So I'll entertain a motion.
So moved?
Sandy, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Rob. Further discussion or questions? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Review and act on the declaration of surplus items.
This is one thing I just need to remind our administrators. We just need to make sure that when we're not needing a piece of equipment anymore, whether it's just old and has exceeded its useful life, or it's something that we want to just upgrade, that we need to make sure that you as a board get a chance to review what those items are. And it's called a declaration of surplus. We are a public entity, therefore it is required by law that you get a chance to see those and vote on that. So we have a couple items here tonight. The first one would be the John Deere lawnmower. It's old and it's not in the best condition. So that's one item.
Is it going to an antique shop right away, or?
Yeah, there you go.
I bet you Gary Willard can restore that for you to pristine perfection.
It's pretty beat up. So we have gone to just every couple of years replacing we have a zero-turn lawnmower. We replace it every couple of years and just trying to keep that up. And then we have 3 wrestling mats that have already been replaced. We have a new practice mat that we budgeted for as part of the long-term facility maintenance capital dollars expenditures for this last budget year. And these they're just not any good anymore. So likely just going to donate those to the first person that wants them. So.
Okay, I will entertain a motion to act on the declaration of the surplus items.
So moved.
Jesse, is there a second?
Second.
Lauren, discussion? So if you want a wrestling mat or a John Deere tractor.
I believe part of the statute too is you have to put a value. I struggle with that because the wrestling mats, if you buy them brand new, they're like $12,000 for those 3. And the lawn, I mean, they're not worth $1 the way they are. So
It costs you money to get rid of them.
Just thinking that.
And they're heavy.
and
Just
the
thinking
John Deere
Yeah.
lawnmower, I mean, I'm not even sure it runs all the time now, so it's, you know, it's an aged machine, it's exceeded its useful life, but if you were to go buy that machine brand new, I mean, it's probably, I don't know, $20,000.
Yeah.
So,
So are they just gonna like throw them in the garbage, or are they gonna donate them?
the mats, I believe there's somebody that's interested, and just a person who likes wrestling, they want them for their basement or whatever. And the lawnmower, I believe we have a buyer that just wants it for parts.
Good, good. Okay, any more discussion? Okay, hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, we are on to reports. Mr. Helgerson, you're up.
All right. The number of items tonight. You know, normally this time of the year, I say, you know, I don't know what happens in December, but we see a decrease in enrollment. This year is quite the opposite. So our December enrollment, pre-K through 12, increased by 16 students since our November count. So we do that basically the first of the month. So we're two under 1,900 at this point. So if you look at our what ifs, which is what we built our budget on, you know, we're 45-ish, 46 students above that count, I believe. And it's hard to tell you a dollar amount, you know, we've gone through this with our budgeting, but if it were today and that number were to be held throughout the year, you know, it's almost $300,000 in additional revenue from state aid. So it certainly is nothing to sneeze at for our district, and obviously we hope to continue on that trend, not only for the rest of this year, but going forward. Ben, you're good if you. We're all
Sandy?
set. You're approved.
It failed, no.
I just wanted to say, it looked like that the student, the addition of students was kind of spread out.
Yeah.
So it was like 1 or 2 per class, which makes it a little bit easier in terms of if you have like a really big hit in, like, let's say 4th grade, then what do you do? So
Right. And it was, you know, elementary and middle school, if I remember correctly here.
there was some in high school too.
Yeah, 4 in the high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's nice when it's spread like that.
Yep.
Yeah. 6 at the elementary.
Yep.
So,
Yeah,
you know, we
would be-
guessed at the elementary 610, we're at 631.
Wow.
Middle school, we guessed 614, we're at 638. And high school is about where we thought we would be, 614, and we're at 612.
Does this eventually flatten out? I mean, like 16 new students in December, that's almost halfway through the school year. I mean,
Right.
Where
Depends
are
on the
these
year.
kids coming from? I mean, that's where I was kind of like wondering.
Well, we always in the past year said where are they going to, so now now they're coming this
I
direction.
mean, I think last year, don't quote me on this, but I think we probably lost 10 from November
Yeah.
to December.
That's awesome.
So are they new people moving into the community, or are they people that are transferring in? Do you have that identified?
Hope you.
There have been a lot of move-ins.
Really?
Okay. Good.
Some open enrollment, but some move in.
Has this, so my one question on this one, has this created, you know, like a staffing problem? I know we've had staffing, you know, just coming into the year. Has this exacerbated that more where it's like unbearable, or are we still at a decent spot?
You know, the principals haven't said that they've
Okay.
been stressed by this, and they usually let me know.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
That's good.
You
Yeah,
know,
because I saw that too. It's pretty spread out, so
Yep.
it seemed like we were okay.
Yep.
We were
You'll
able to
see,
absorb it.
you know, and, you know, we've hired some additional paraprofessionals,
Yep.
so every once in a while, I know within the last couple of weeks, we've gotten some students move in that have, like, for example, one-on-one para
Yep.
called for in their IEP, and then we don't have a choice. I mean,
Yep.
you post and you hire, so there have been some of those situations, but
Right.
in terms of, you know, the burden in terms of class size, the principals have not
Good.
mentioned that to me. All right. The Ties building sale, this is more of a public, as you have all been part of that, been informed along the way. Ties is now merged, just to give a quick general summary, with the National Joint Powers Alliance, which is now called Sourcewell. And this past Friday, really one of the last steps in the process was to sell the building that Ties has occupied. And it's a nice building. If you've been there, it's a historic building. It's right next to the Minnesota State Fairgrounds. The board, the Ties board, did accept a purchase agreement or an offer and signed a purchase agreement with a company. The company's name is Buell. And we, as members, unanimously approved the sale of the building. $4.75 million was the sale price. There was a loan amount of almost $2.3 million, so that was paid off. And then there's some environmental issues on site, the property, old gas tanks and things like that. So there was some abatement costs in order to continue the sale process. They didn't want to ruin the potential sale, or so they agreed to pay the abatement costs as part of the purchase agreement. Obviously, closing costs are part of any sale, so they paid the closing costs of $300,000. The abatement costs were $250,000. And if I did a good job of taking notes, it went pretty fast. But what it means is about $7 per pupil, and we'll receive that around April 1st of 2019. So it'll be a refund back to us. And then $1.33, and we should see that here per pupil coming at this month. So just a guess, I'm thinking around $20,000 for our district in terms of a total refund. And going forward, we won't have that Ties commitment on our capital expenditures.
Nice.
So we are completely done. We are out, 100%. We no longer have any services through Ties.
Did they closed already, or they didn't?
Sourcewell bought, essentially merged Ties.
No, the building, sorry.
No, they haven't closed.
They
yet.
haven't closed it. Okay.
But Sourcewell merged with Ties. There's a number, especially larger districts, that use services.
Anoka.
Yep.
Hennepin.
So there's a market for them, and they'll continue to see that service. And they put on a really nice conference. The Ties conference is going on, I think, now. And they do have had some good speakers this past weekend. And there's that was the highlight of Ties, is their tech conference. The next one is the district fundraising letter, which I shared with you early on this fall. I did some tweaking to it. I did present as you provided that feedback or that input that I should present at both the Booster Club and also to the Jordan Education Foundation. I did that. We talked about it extensively with the administrative team. I made some adjustments to the letter and sent that out. Haven't received a lot of feedback, a couple questions from staff members on how to handle some things, but I can't say that it's been negatively or positively received. I did say in the letter that we'll provide additional feedback. We know that it's impossible to eliminate all of them. So we'll work with both the Booster Club and the Education Foundation, more so on the Booster Club side, to reduce, and then we'll continue to have a target moving forward to reduce those fundraisers. And many of you have been part of that process as well. So just wanted to give an update on that. District survey, I did attach a copy of a district parent survey that will be sent out, I said tomorrow. It'll be tomorrow or Wednesday to families that we hope to receive a good response to. It's then going to be compiled and then shared with you in our State of the District document that we do each year at our annual board and administrative retreat that we'll hold in January on the 18th and again on the 21st. So I'll just pull up. Did anybody have any questions? Did you get a chance to take a look at the survey? One of the challenges, we do have a Survey Monkey account, and that's what I'm using for this. One of the challenges, played around a little bit, and there's a way to do it where you have, a family, if let's say they have 3 children, they could check multiple grade levels. the problem with that is you're not gonna get accurate data because
Right.
there might be a problem, or the parent might feel there's a problem in one particular building if they have, let's say they have a child in each of the 3 buildings, but not in the other. So we did reduce the number of questions in the draft here. SurveyMonkey does a little analytics piece, and it says between 5 and 9 minutes to complete one survey. So that's the logistics of it. Any questions, any input on the questions, the makeup? Am I missing anything?
Does SurveyMonkey tell them when they're starting the survey how many questions there are, so they can see where they're at?
I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Usually there's a meter at the bottom.
Yeah, like a percentage.
That
I
meter
did
is-
it on my phone and I didn't see
Oh,
that,
on.
so it could have been me, that's why I.
Did you get the survey already?
The
He-
draft.
The draft.
Oh,
It
yeah.
probably doesn't do
It wouldn't
that
do
for
it
the
on
draft.
here. Because it's not through SurveyMonkey, this is just a draft.
I know, and I'm saying I looked at the draft on here and I'm wondering, does SurveyMonkey
Right,
tell you how far you're progressing?
yeah,
And I didn't see that on my phone.
Let me check here.
okay. But it's not, this isn't through SurveyMonkey yet, right?
It's just showing us a
Right.
copy of it.
It's just showing us a copy of it.
I think you're misunderstanding me
I think I am.
completely.
Lauren's
too,
saying
though.
she did this on here, the sample.
Right.
But she's wondering when the people do it on,
Right.
on the survey.
I get that, but you were
if it
saying
will.
because you didn't
Yeah.
see it on your phone, but you wouldn't see it on your phone for this.
No, I get you, Lauren.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No. No, the one that we got is not
Is
a
the draft. Right.
monkey. It's the draft one.
Right.
So the real, she's
understand
wondering
that.
if on the real one, if
Right.
there'll be the
I-
meter, right?
No, but the SurveyMonkey
She's
that
not-
you sent
no.
out when you did comments,
Yeah,
was that on SurveyMonkey or that was?
yes,
Okay, so.
like right here.
Okay, so I did look at a survey on SurveyMonkey
Oh.
and sample it.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, right there, it shows estimated completion rate, estimated
So
time.
it'll do a percentage, it doesn't tell you the,
Right.
And since I did it on my phone, I was saying, I don't think I saw that percentage. That's why I'm asking the
so
question.
I
Gotcha,
clicked
gotcha,
on
gotcha.
invite
Now I
others to
understand.
comment, so that's where you would,
Mhm.
if you clicked on it, you could have seen, like you're talking about, Lauren.
Right.
But yeah, so this tells you right here, 83% completed just by clicking on it. 9 minutes estimated
Yeah.
time to complete, and I would imagine, I haven't
I
done it.
didn't know you could do
but-
that.
He sent it out.
Yeah.
I saw
You-
the draft, I didn't see the.
Click on it.
Oh.
Well, I looked at this several times, and I think it's a good survey. I think it's something that we as a board can glean some good information from to help us
Definitely.
with future.
Totally agree. Yeah, I think, totally agree. And the multi-student one, I get it. Maybe
Mhm.
that's a challenging one, and I think
Yeah.
you're right. It's gonna skew the numbers, just with how this tool
Yeah.
works.
I feel like probably what will happen is that people will fill out the ones for the student, just one student, and the one that they feel the most concerned about.
Probably.
That would be my
Could be,
guess.
could be.
Yeah.
It could be different,
Yeah.
but there could be people who are willing to go through and do it 3 times, or
Right.
however many.
But if we would have done one per
It would have-
household,
yep.
and, you know, if they're having a great experience at the high school and a
Exactly.
negative experience at the elementary,
We
they're
wanna
gonna
know.
pick
Elementary.
the middle of the road
Yep, we wanna
or
know.
the elementary, which tells us nothing.
Yep. Oh, I get it. I'm
So,
just saying, I
yeah.
think that that's probably what's gonna happen.
Right. I liked the, you know, the project-based learning and the summit, leading them into the, you know, letting them know some of the things we're doing in the summit program and different programs. I
And
think
then
it's a good survey.
I played around with, on the comment boxes. At first, I'd put down, if you mark strongly disagree or disagree, please justify that. But that also doesn't allow people who feel really positive about
Right.
something to make a comment.
Oh, I
So
agree with that,
We
yeah.
changed it back to comments there as well,
That's
so.
There was-
Tried to follow the strategic plan, and, we have the different boxes, and part of our strategic plan, which we haven't met and we haven't done, is collect information via survey.
Yeah.
So My intention would be this first year to do it now and then possibly do it again around spring break time.
Yep.
And then going forward in the future, just do it at around spring break time, which is about when, my understanding is when other districts are doing this too.
The only thing that I saw was under number 11, there was no comment box. And I sort of get why there wasn't, but I wonder if there might be some people who would want to comment on that. Like, they would like to see more of it, or they don't, you know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
But so there's other ones, well, I mean, this one doesn't.
Mhm.
I suppose you could have a comment for this one too.
That didn't hit me as much, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible to do comment boxes for every one of them. I can do that.
I don't know that you need that, but that one in particular just hit me that there might be people who have some comments on that.
So somewhat related but unrelated. Do our administrators do the same thing with the staff? Or something similar to get kind of the
Yep.
staff's
Supposed to.
feedback? Good,
We do.
good.
I'll be honest with that. I think and a lot of people will say, when you're staff, don't do it anonymous.
Yeah.
We do it anonymously, and I don't think that's fair.
Yeah.
We
That's
don't get to
true.
do a survey.
Other thoughts or comments on the survey? Anything on your end, Rob, that jumped out at you?
No, I'm very supportive of a survey like this going out. I think it's a great idea.
Good. Okay. Anything else, Matt?
Nope.
Okay.
So, those of you who are parents, you expect to see it out here in the next 24 to 48 hours.
Cool.
And how long will it be open?
We'll close it by Christmas
Okay.
break.
Yep.
So, week and a half approximately.
Send out reminders to do it
Yeah,
if
I
you
was just
haven't
gonna
done it.
ask that, yeah.
Because you'll get the biggest response in the first 24, 48, and then
Yep.
Yep.
you get anything after that.
Yeah, the people that have it, every intention of doing it, it
Yeah.
gets buried,
It does.
35 emails
It
down.
does.
They forget, so yeah, that'd be a good idea.
And I hope that, the comment was made, and I think that's right. I hope that people, both who are satisfied and who also would like to see some areas of improvement, will fill it out regardless. I think that shows community pride.
Absolutely.
Just looking at some other districts, I was able to look at 3 other districts and use some of their ideas for questions. Their results reflect the whole gamut, and I hope we get the same.
I think we can promote it that way, is that we want to hear all of your comments, both, anything you have positive to say and anything that constructive criticism you have to say.
Yeah, I think surveys can be scary because you're very vulnerable, you're asking for feedback. But we try to design it so it's intentional and it's asking for feedback, in all areas of our district, and, it does match up if you go through and match up
Yep.
our strategic plan with it. It's not perfect, but it certainly, I think, addresses what we want it to address.
Great. Okay, on to high school principals report. Any comments or? Sandy?
Oh, no.
Oh, I
was
thought
just
you had your
raising-
hand up.
No, I just was putting my glasses down.
I like the idea that they're doing the ACT question of the day. I think that's a
They've done
great
that in the
idea.
past. Yep.
And that ramp up to readiness is starting after the first of the year. Okay? Anybody? Middle school principals report?
Oh, shoot.
Oops.
There we go.
Any comments? No? On to Melissa's report, elementary principal's report. I love the kindergarten students writing fictional monster stories.
I know,
With
that was
7th grade
cute.
honor students.
My daughter is a 7th grader who got a chance to do this, and it was so fun. They used their Chromebooks, but they had the kids, the kindergartners, sort of dictated what they.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they wrote it together, but it's really cute. So.
I bet.
It's fun.
Yeah.
And I just, on a personal note, want to extend my gratitude to the whole to the whole
Yes.
district, but especially to the elementary staff for supporting the Allen family. And Missy is a great loss to the district. So I know it's been a tough week and a half, couple weeks, 2 weeks in the elementary school. So. Activity director's report.
Can I just back up to Melissa's one more
Sure.
time? And I'm not gonna say who it is because I don't know that cat's out of the bag yet, but if you see the third from the bottom bullet there, students were given the opportunity to participate in the Scott County Sheriff's Christmas card contest.
Oh, yeah, I did see
Um,
that.
We did have a grand prize. We had
Wow.
a winner.
Great.
So
Nice.
it's kind of fun to have that winner right here in Jordan
Oh, fun.
Great.
for all of Scott County.
Good. Anything on Joel's report? I think the Hall of Fame idea is excited for him to roll that out in January. And it seems like the new scheduling and stuff is going well with Joe's added duties.
Oh, it's great.
Good.
I think it's really made it more of a professional process. And it's my perspective, things are going really well.
Okay, community director's report.
Just going to this too, Lauren, you asked that question about the kiosk. This will give a better
Yeah, I
description.
didn't put the 2 and 2 together
Yep.
when I read it. Sorry.
Nope.
I must have been the only one.
I would just say, don't forget to renew your CERC memberships.
Yeah, right.
I did mine.
Memberships are really up, aren't they?
Yep. If any
Anywhere.
community member is interested in doing a class, we'd love to have them step forward, whatever their talent or skill is, whether it's now or in the future. I know that Stephen went around and shared, and I know this was shared with you as well, all of our buildings, and said 80% of the cut, so class registration. So that's a nice little potential revenue or a moneymaker if you're interested in, anybody out in the community is interested in teaching. We'd love to have you come in and do that.
Well, and I'd just like to say that I happen to be on a particular site on Facebook for Belle Plaine, and there was some very nice comments about the CERC on that site, and encouraging, because there were some moms who were looking for places to walk during the winter and things like that, but they didn't want to drive all the way to Chaska or to anything else, and so several people recommended the CERC and gave some really nice feedback about it. So I think that was really nice to see. So
Over 4,000 members at this
Wow.
point. That's right, isn't it, Jesse?
Double from last year.
That's unreal.
Isn't it?
Unreal.
If you want to hear a lot of compliments, just come here on Saturday. We have a big tournament here. It's just going to be, it happens
gonna
every
be
time.
insane.
Everyone's going like, oh, these are great facilities. Never would have
Speaking-
imagined.
Yeah.
I know at Belle Plaine, there's talking about teaching a class, there's a group of runners showing up, and Stephen said, we need to get you scheduled to teach, put this in as a course. That way, anybody, not just kids from Belle Plaine, anybody could register for that running club or whatever they
Yep,
call
it
it.
is. It's, I can't remember what it's called.
Yep. So I
Cross-country
know
track
that's,
field.
that's a point of emphasis, is building up that, you know, that course offering base. And he's looking into, I think you put it in here, he's looking at some digital classes. So for example, in here on the screen, we've talked about offering like a spin class. And we have a couple bikes now, but looking at getting, let's say you have 6. You can do a subscription to a digital subscription, and they could be teaching on that course, and you could be doing the class in here, Tom. I'm sure you're very familiar with that.
Yeah.
Another thing that we're looking into, and sounds like it's going to happen, we're going to get feedback from our admin team before the holiday break here, but we're looking at doing a camp invention this summer.
Oh, I've seen
It's
those.
a national program for STEM,
Preg does it.
and looking at bring them in, and basically we just bring the curriculum in, and we can have our staff teach it. And it doesn't even have to be our staff, but if we don't find our staff wanting to do it, just a certified teacher needs to teach it. Could be a great opportunity for one of our students who maybe, you know, finished college and is looking for that teaching position and follows the curriculum, but looking into that too. So I'm very encouraged by the signs of progress in terms of building up our community ed
Is
course
that the running
catalog.
club, right, the running class right there?
That could be.
I think it is, because it's
Yeah.
7:30 to 8:30 Mondays and Thursdays, so.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yep.
I know I was at my secret pal party, and one of my friends from Shakopee comes here to play pickleball, and she was telling me that there are pickleball people coming from all over the cities because they love our court so much.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're very, very good, I guess.
Wow.
So it gets a little intense.
Okay.
But that's good
That is.
that it's drawing them. Marketing, communications and marketing report. I know we have a lot of new stuff in our school store over there that's been getting promoted. It's been
I know, I need to go
Expensive.
shopping.
I spent a few
Christmas
dollars
I
last
know.
week.
I wear XL.
It's not for you.
I'm a long though.
You know, we did this,
It's not
just
for you
something to
either.
highlight here too. And Andrea, I believe, has it in her report as well, but this dish,
I saw that.
have you ever heard of Let's Dish, or maybe you've done Let's Dish where you go and you make meals? Like you have all the ingredients there and you put them all together in like containers, and you take it
Oh.
home and you can freeze it, or you can, you know, make it. Well, we did the first one last week. I think there was probably 30 or so staff members that did it.
wow.
Oh my gosh.
That's awesome.
But that would be another potential community ed class where you
Yeah.
have all the
Oh.
ingredients, use our kitchens, invite the
Wow.
community,
Yeah.
come in and do
Oh,
that.
I would love that.
Do it for Christmas cookies.
I did it because.
I'll
we
say
were-
Yeah.
I'll
I-
get a
I-
sampler. Taste test.
So you're not having cranberry chicken every night that you have to cook?
So that was great, and hopefully we can build on that.
That's a good
and-
idea.
That is great. I thought that had kind of run its
Was it
course. That was
expensive?
super popular
$5.
about 5, 6, 7, 8
Yeah.
years ago.
Hy-Vee is running it right now as part of some wellness thing that you go in and you get to choose crock pot, or there's 3 or 4 different things, but if you could come right in your own community.
Well, it's a way to,
Yeah.
like you said, it's a way to promote like smart, healthy eating too,
Yeah.
because we have to follow regulations. So it was like whole wheat breadsticks, you know, garlic breadsticks and things like that. But it was good. Fed my family.
Well, people are so busy. I mean, this is something that people, I think, are looking for, because it's just a way to just do it, and, yeah, I think that's
I'm
great.
gonna give her that feedback, but maybe she should do a community ed class,
Oh.
because that was just for
Yeah.
staff as part of our wellness committee.
That would be a great community ed class.
Oh, my gosh,
Yeah.
yes. I think
Christmas
it'd-
cookies.
I think it'd fill really quickly.
I'm at Christmas cookies.
Yeah. Okay, anything else on Andrea's report? Special Services Director's report? Anything on questions or comment on Chad's report? I think we should note that Chad worked with Tim and with the physical therapist on improving access on the playground at the elementary for some of our special needs students. So that's a good thing.
The SOAR program was very nice too.
Yes, yeah.
So Deb and I and Matt went
Mm-hmm.
to that. So it was really nice to get to see. They have a lot of us took a tour of it a few years ago, but they've moved. They have a much bigger space, and they have lots of cooking facilities and laundry facilities, which is really nice. It's a much bigger room.
Mm-hmm.
And it was nice to see some of the actual students and the staff, and so it was very well done.
Yep, yep. And they were so proud.
Oh, they were.
To show us around, and
They were.
they made the treats, so
Mhm.
it was good. Okay, technology directors report. Anything on that, Matt?
No, he's looking to upgrade some pieces, and they'll be part of next year's budget.
Okay. And Tim's report, facilities.
His cold flu season apparatus looked interesting.
Kind of interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah,
check that out.
Sounds
It's
good.
like a
I didn't quite
Ghostbusters
understand
thing.
it,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, I knew
Is
it.
it like liquid that came out of that thing?
I
I have no
couldn't
Looks
idea.
like
figure
a
that one out
weapon.
either.
Looks like.
That's what I thought it
Water.
was when I was looking at it. I'm like,
Yeah.
Well, it looks like a sprayer comes
So
out of here.
yeah,
you
it
just- you can see.
electrostatically sticks to all the surfaces, and it kills the bacteria and viruses on contact. Do you have one of those at Dakota, Tom?
Mm-mm.
Really?
No. We don't have that stuff in the club, so it's good. No
Okay.
viruses in the club.
You don't
which is
have any
nice.
viruses.
No, we don't allow them now, so.
Good, okay. And Tommy's report was included. She did a great job of synopsizing everything going on from the student perspective in the district. I did meet with her last week to kind of get her up to speed on, she wasn't able to attend our facilities meeting that we all attended the other night, so I met with her and got some feedback from her, and told Matt he probably will be getting a call to meet, because she had some really good ideas about the facilities thing, so she is a great student rep. Okay, member reports, Booster Club.
We have our gambling license.
Oh, yay.
As of December 1st, the gambling license is effect. There's 3 boxes at Jordan Tap Room. Station new owners are chomping at the bit to get us in there. They want us in there for boxes. They want meat raffles, and they want bingo. And we're saying, hang on, we just gotta get we just gotta get our feet wet. But it's going really, it went really well. A lot of paperwork and stuff, and I'm really proud of the work that they're doing.
On that note, Connie, sorry to interrupt, but like with the gambling license, aren't you restricted on, you can only do like one thing or certain things, or how does
No,
that work?
we can keep going. It's just that takes that much more manpower
Manpower,
to get
sure.
that done. And for each thing that you do, it's that much more paperwork to do. The
Okay.
paperwork is what's gonna keep Renee and Trent just above water, getting that done. So then that led into needs versus wants in the Booster Club. Budgets per sport, they're gonna hammer it down. They have to, each coach has to provide a budget. Joe was there. He answered Title IX issue questions, which there was a lot of them. There was some questions about funding, school funding, or what school is supposed to fund, and what Booster Club, and it kind of all rolls back to need versus want. Salt sales were up. They sold over 1,000 bags of salt this year, and that was excited. Talked a lot about the Touch Pro trophy thing. He really tried to get the Booster Club to make financial commitment, and they're kind of in a gray area now once they know. The other thing is, I guess, to backtrack on the gambling license, gambling money has to be spent within that calendar year. So they really have to be thinking ahead of how that money is going to be spent. Part of it could go to that Hall of Fame trophy case thing. We tabled the vice president position because we need to bring some new members in, because we also have a member that took a job outside the district, so he needs to pull himself off. So, and there is a requirement for board people have to be on the board 6 months before they can be elected into a administrative position, a vice president, president, whatever. So we just had to table it because there need to be some really good thought process put in so that people didn't say yes and then all of a sudden have to pull out before their term was up. And the other thing is nobody knows what their terms are that's on the board. So they have to go back through some minutes to look that up. So it's a real hard-working team. It's hard to get all the stuff done in their time that's allotted. They talked about possibly doing something with ice golf or whatever is one of their thoughts of doing something as a fun project involving kids and adults. So that was that. And meeting this Wednesday, do you want to go with me? Do you want to go?
There's a meeting this Wednesday?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how do I get the invite? What time?
Didn't you get it? Okay, I can send it to
Can
you.
you send it to me?
Yep.
What time is it at?
7.
At the high school?
Yep, lecture room. So we could just go together.
So the, you might know this. Well, you might not.
Same
The
difference.
German days, the gambling that happened here, but it was run through German days in Belle Plaine. Does anything happen with that money? Did they ever bring that up?
The what?
German days in Belle Plaine,
Yeah, they're gonna be out.
They're done.
they're done.
They're already gone.
Oh, okay,
They're already
gotcha.
gone. And our boxes, we ordered 3 boxes. That's what Trent felt after going through the training, that he could physically manage there. And then also Station and Pickle Pig. Pickle Pig is anxious. It's just that we have to go slow.
Well, the city has to approve the
Right.
license or whatever.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
and also, since we piggybacked on our training from the fire department's a really good partner. They're willing to even let us put boxes in the same places at their end, so, which is 100% doable and I guess very common.
So my question is the German, whenever they left the station or are leaving, so the funds that they've raised this past year, have we tried to get our share of that?
We wouldn't get any share of it because we weren't managing the money at that time.
No, when the chamber, how did that work, Matt?
Yeah,
We
had a
were
request.
entitled to 50% of it because it took place in the city of Jordan. So we had a petition, and Joe Rademacher helped me with that. We had to send a letter to, or a petition to the gal from Belle Plaine that does German days, and we got half of that
$7,000
money.
or so.
To your chamber?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
It had to
then,
go to a charitable 501c3,
So the Booster Club could do it. I don't know that anybody has, I think is.
but that could be something to check into. And I still have the contact information for the lady from Belle Plaine, or Joe Rademacher knows her very well too, so could be another source of little money, so just a heads up.
Okay.
I thought that they had to. I thought it was a gambling requirement that a certain part of that money.
I don't know, and I don't know if the Booster Club,
I don't know,
something to look into though.
just, yeah. Okay, anything else on that? Curriculum and technology?
you
I
stayed
can
the
speak to
whole
it because I
time.
was the whole time.
Yep.
And we didn't do a huge amount after you two left, but basically, Jeff spoke, he went to a conference on college and career readiness, and it talked about 3 important things that he got out of that in terms of what college students really need to be aware of is time management, understanding expectations, and using email. And we had a discussion on CIS and CE courses. We had a really long discussion about the Summit Academy and what courses are being offered right now. They're offering an Intro to Ed class, which I was really impressed to find out that for those kids, they not only get high school credit for that, but they get 4 credits for Intro to Comp and 4 credits to Intro to Ed through Normandale.
Which class is this?
Intro to Ed. It's
Really?
the Summit Academy course. And so, I mean, you're getting 8 college credits, and you're getting your high school credit for that class.
The multicultural ed, which is an extension of that,
Yep, they
is
get
3 or 4.
3.
Yeah.
They get 3 Normandale. So, so you could get, if you take both of those classes, you're getting 11 college credits.
It's cool.
So, and then there's the business marketing and economics class. They don't get college credits for that, but it is a really great way to get hands-on experience in business. And then the new healthcare and medicine class, they're working, they are getting 4 credits in the health core curriculum through Normandale, and they're working on trying to hopefully be able to help kids get their CNA license eventually. So, which would be a great way for them to then potentially earn money, you know, while attending college, because, you know, CNAs are in high demand. So, and then we talked about potential future partnerships, and pretty much, did I miss anything?
No,
that-
I think you covered it pretty well.
Matt, were you there?
I bounced between that and the ed foundation.
That's right. So I was the only, yep. So I think that was pretty much it. Like I said, after both of you left, I don't think, we talked a lot, but it wasn't anything, basically just more about the Summit Academy courses, so.
And they just did a synopsis of the CIS and C offerings that we do.
Yep.
We had a good discussion about that.
We did.
So, good. Thank you.
We did.
Southwest Metro Board meeting, I attended that 2 weeks ago, a week and a half ago. We had a presentation on the Catalyst program. Sometime I think it would be a good idea to invite Darren Kermis to come and give you, especially the new board members, kind of an overview of all the offerings that Southwest Metro has and that we participate in or have opportunity to participate in. The Catalyst program is a mental health day treatment program, and they offer homeroom and 45 minutes of psychotherapy, weekly individual counseling sessions, crisis counseling, and on and on and on. Great opportunity for students that are suffering with some mental health issues. So that's one of the good things, one of the good programs that they offer. They just completed their audit. They got a clean audit, which was a good thing. Adult basic education numbers are up. I don't know if we have anybody from our district. Occasionally we do. But their numbers are up. Career tech numbers are up. Their alternate ed numbers are up. Special ed, they are really focusing on staff and student safety. They have some pretty high needs people, and they're having a very hard time finding level 4 SPED teachers, so which is across the board. And they're seeing a real increase in mental health needs in high school, so they moved down and they're doing a lot of work in the at the middle school level. So other than that, there's some discussion about some districts that have petitioned to join, but that's just in the very early stages. That would be, you know, really change some of the dynamics of the intermediate district. So that's in the early stages. That's all I have on that. Joint powers.
Oh, you skipped, did we do Jordan Education Foundation?
No, I did not. I'm sorry. Jordan Education Foundation. Connie? Matt?
I went to it.
Yeah.
It was just more discussion about committee structure. So we're trying to form the different committees, the finance committee, well, the finance committee really is formed, but it's the communications and marketing and scholarships and all those different pieces. But also we talked a long time about, and I thought this was done, but we talked a lot about the, what's it called, the document that you have to submit to get.
501s through 3?
Nope.
The Articles of Incorporation.
Articles
I
of
thought they
Incorporation.
finished it already.
No, there was more discussion about that and, you know, just going through that process. That's about where we landed.
Are we seeing movement towards really kicking it off? And
No.
I know there's hope of doing it at Celebrate
Celebrate
Jordan.
Jordan is
That,
Really.
yeah, that was discussed, and obviously in the subcommittee work.
Did they do any branding work or anything yet?
No.
Okay.
So I did bring up, revisited the whole, and, I guess I forgot that a lot of the people that are members of the board were not there for the presentations from Matamita and New Prague.
Oh.
Probably not, because they weren't they weren't
So I
involved
did
yet.
bring that up and I showed them, that don't reinvent the wheel. A lot of this detail is already there. For example, how to build, applications for grants.
Mhm.
So they were gonna use New Prague's as a guide just because it's similar to us.
Mhm.
Talked about a dollar amount because
Larry's caught up on that.
yeah, and I said I would give more away than what you take in the first year, just to generate some interest, but that was just my perspective. Some people agreed and some people disagreed. It's really up to the,
Well, and you
The board.
won't know what they're asking for until you see it,
Right.
It's gotta kind of have a goal.
yep. They were looking at setting a dollar amount, but they were struggling with what that number is. They asked me and I gave them a number and they said, well, that's a lot higher than we thought. I said, well, if you want people to be interested in it and to garner some attention, some positive attention, that might be something you have to do in year one. So, we'll see.
Okay. Joint powers?
So a couple different things. Talked about the spring catalog and bringing that back into the fold, and I see Steven's moving forward with that.
Yeah, we've been doing 2 for the last couple of years, but gonna go
Yeah.
back to 3.
Back to 3 there. Talked a lot about what Matt alluded to earlier around, allowing new course offerings and allowing, anybody to offer them up. I think those are kind of the main topics.
Talked a little bit about raising membership rates.
Yep.
There's just if you look across the board at the rates, it doesn't flow quite right on the
Yeah.
membership rates, and just trying to make those adjustments so it just makes a little bit more sense. And so we're gonna work on that. That's not gonna happen for January 1. That's gonna be March or April. I think we
Yeah.
talked for that.
Yeah, because the discussion there was we raised the
Yeah.
rates last year, and everyone was worried we'd lose members, but the reality is we doubled members
Yeah.
after raising rates. So, and there's a cost just to run the business, and there's inflation and everything like that, and so it's definitely a topic
Yeah.
that we'll continue to have.
And he came to me with that. I wasn't able to attend that meeting, but he came to me and asked for my feedback as well. And I said, well, you have to have, I would think, philosophy that you should have amenities,
Yeah.
increased amenities to match that, or you're looking
Yes.
at
Yes.
making some improvements. And I know that he recently purchased the medicine balls.
Yep.
There's a medicine ball rack.
Yep.
We talked about, the spin class, but also just more of those different types of body pump, body step,
Yep.
different types of
Yes.
aerobic-based classes, not wanting to step on the toes of our instructors, but to offer classes that our instructors aren't capable of offering
Yep.
via a virtual subscription.
Yep.
That's good. Thank you.
Yep.
ULA? We met again.
Yeah, not again. Worked on some stuff.
Made a little progress.
Little bites.
Little bites.
Little bites.
Like Pony the Rock.
I think it's
Chipping
going
away.
well.
It's going
I mean,
well.
It is,
honestly,
yeah, it's,
we aren't, for outside of negotiations, we're making remarkable progress because neither one of us has any bargaining
Power.
power.
Yeah.
No, I mean, we don't have to get it done by a certain time. There's no monetary, so just working on wording, and
Mhm.
Good.
I think it's been going well.
Yeah, we've got everything that we've agreed upon in principle, or what is it, tentatively agreed
Mhm.
upon. I've, drafted that document. I heard back from their lead last night, said everything looks good, so now we're just working on some language that we said that the two of us would work on. We sent out a doodle poll today for another date, and it looks like January will be our next date, so July 1, 2019 is the time where you have to have things put in place, but I would anticipate we'll get there, and we aren't gonna get everything, and they're not gonna get everything that they'd like, and we'll meet in the middle.
And it's been very amicable.
Yeah, it's been very good.
Amicable.
Yeah,
So
it's been going well.
Yep.
Good.
APAC.
I was only able to attend the first part of the meeting because I had to leave for work. It was held kind of over the lunch hour, so Chad kind of covered it in his report, though. So it's basically they're talking about Sarah Miller and the after-school program, working on with kids because we have a certain amount of dollars available for tutoring, but it's hard to find a qualified tutor because the person has to have a license, all of that kind of thing. So they're trying to figure out how they can incorporate it with the after-school program because obviously Sarah has a teaching license in order to tutor registered American Indian students who they need academic support, and their parents have agreed to that. And then Malik is scheduling time to meet with the American Indian students, K-12. They're doing these folders that kind of just talk about things that they might need in each building. And I was not there for the part about setting aside dollars for the high school students to take the ACT test. We did have quite a long discussion again about graduation dress and things like that and the cords. And they're looking into it, we're looking into it, and I got the cases. So, but yeah, so we had that was, I think, what I was there for the most part was that discussion. So I don't know what happened after I left. I left the last half hour of it.
The only thing that happened was discussion about curriculum and modules, and Sarah presented what she and her team has put together, and we toggled back and forth between the other topics that you mentioned as well. We went back and visited some of those again. So.
Yep. And I just wanted to kind of piggyback. There's not only APAC, but there was a teacher evaluation meeting that I'm a part of that group as well. So, and it's the first of, I think, 3 that we are going to do. And basically we went back and reviewed, we hadn't reviewed the teacher evaluation plan in quite a long time. So we went back and reviewed it and kind of went through some of the pieces and gave some feedback to Carol. It's definitely a work in progress. There's a few things that I think that they're agreeing that maybe we don't need, and then right now, and then some things that maybe we want to tweak and add. So I will give you more details once all of that has kind of worked itself out, because we're really in the beginning phases of doing that. So.
And Jesse, that's for your benefit. That's teacher development evaluation. It's part of statutory language.
Yep.
There are different components that you have to have in there. There's a formal evaluation, but there's also a peer review component, and it's all part of a continuous improvement plan.
Is that more targeted for the first 3 years of new staff before they hit tenure? It's just in general?
It's not. It's there's different components for different. Depending on where you are in that tenure level.
Because they get a formal observation every 3 years once they're tenured, and then on the off years, then there's a peer review, which is not a formal observation, and I believe it doesn't go in their file. And so it's more of a teacher, like the teacher that goes in and observes, kind of they have a conversation, and kind of it's kind of nice for the teacher observing, because then they get to learn new things, but then they also get to share things that they're doing with that teacher. It's more of an informal conversation. So, but yeah, that's how that works.
There's a portfolio option too.
Oh, yes.
So there's some competencies, and you can put artifacts into a portfolio and then share that or upload it into your file, if you will. And that's also not a formal piece of the evaluation process. It's the administrator evaluations that are the formal piece, and that's what goes into their files.
Got it.
And that was discussed, the portfolio was discussed actually about tweaking and whether it was needed, if people are using it, that kind of thing too, so.
And the tenure evaluations, non-tenured, it's 3 times per year for the first 3 years until tenure is achieved, and it's once every 3.
Right, and 10 years after the 3rd year, which makes sense.
Unless they've achieved tenure in another district, then they have the 1 year.
1 year.
So.
Okay, thank you, Sandy, and everybody. board and superintendent comments. I'll start with Jesse.
I think it's really promising in terms of seeing enrollment going up, which is a bit different for this district, which I think is great. It was awesome seeing all the fall sports here. I think that's really cool. I really, really do. And last but not least, Merry Christmas to everybody, and Happy Holidays, and be safe.
Yeah, we don't have another meeting this month. That's right.
Rob, are you still there?
No, he's not.
He's gone, okay.
He had to leave.
Merry Christmas, Rob.
He's dozing off. So
Yeah.
I didn't notice when he left. I just noticed.
I didn't
either.
Me either.
And you kind of
Where
got to
goes,
know
where'd
that
Rob
for
go?
your minutes.
He's taking a nap.
He texted me and said, I gotta go.
Oh, let Hope know what time, so she can know.
Lauren? I attended the concert just at 6 o'clock. It was really good. They did a great job. Sounded fabulous. Other than that, I second Jesse's comment on it's fun having all the fall sports and seeing those presentations and those awards. And then everybody have a Merry Christmas and safe travels this holiday season and a good New Year.
One thing I forgot is, when we were talking about Stephen getting excited about community ed, one thing that came up in the special ed parent meeting was how the special ed kids could be included in community ed. And many of them go to the STARS program in Shakopee, which it's the special ed teachers become community ed teachers, and they take the kids to a basketball game or some sports event. They take them to the dress rehearsal of the class plays and whatever. So Chad's invited Stephen to come to the next meeting and see if we could get our own STARS program or some kind of program where the special ed kids at the high school and middle school could get involved in that program. And it would be I think they pay $5 and they go bowling, they go to pizza at their own pizza party, whatever. And it also gives mom like 2 hours to go to the coffee shop or whatever. So hopefully we can get something like that going. So that will be excited. And Merry Christmas, everyone. Excited? Jesse, if you really need cookies, we're starting at 8 a.m. on Sunday morning.
Are
So
you?
you stop by and get a cookie.
I just might have
Okay.
to.
I might have to too.
Okay.
I wish I was that mom that made cookies, but I'm not, and I'm looking at everybody on Facebook, and I'm like, I'm not that mom, and I'm gotta figure out how to get cookies
I only do it
made.
once a year, and that's
They might have
butter
more
cookies.
time, Lauren, than you do and than
Yeah.
I do, I think, and our family does.
I gotta, like the Breezes, they like do, all the moms
Yeah,
get
they get all
together and they do
together.
that whole, I'm like, Maya, can you
Oh, we have
just bring
spreadsheets.
Lexi with you?
We have spreadsheets and we
Oh, wow.
it's all organized out, not by me, I just have the house, but
Ours was
My
this
mother
last
didn't do it
weekend.
either.
was it?
Ours was too. Yeah.
It's
guys
harder
have
when you
breaks?
don't have family nearby either.
Yeah.
Those of us who
Yeah.
are transplants. it's a
Absolutely,
little
I
harder.
agree.
Yeah.
We adopt people too.
Yeah, there you
Can I
go.
get adopted?
Yeah.
I agree.
Sandy?
Well, let's see, I'm trying to think of anything. The one-act plays are now cast, and there's going to be 3, because there were so many people that tried out. So there were over 40 students that tried out, which is really, really good. And then I attended the Jordan Dazzle Parade, which was awesome. Sad that the Jordan bands and Jordan choirs couldn't come to participate, but very understandable with the weather, not wanting teenage drivers to be on the road that night. But it was just magical. I mean, the way the snow was falling and the kids were playing, it was like a Hallmark movie.
It was.
It really was. So, which I thought was pretty awesome. And then I also attended Delegate Assembly with Deb, and Deb got to be up on the podium and reading all the resolutions. So because she was up there, I got to present all of our resolutions. I had to second them, and then I had to give a little introduction about each of them in case anybody had discussion. All of our resolutions passed. We had 5 of them. So and the first 4 were all in a row. So I felt like I'm like, okay, it's me again. So we passed the one about the JAF one. If people remember that There, you know, if there is a student who comes from out of state and ends up,
No, a student within the state that becomes a ward of the
that's
state.
right,
Not
who's within the
district,
state,
yeah.
who comes to JAF and has never attended school in our district, if they then leave and then go to a different state, they are still considered a ward
Sure.
of our state and our financial responsibility. So when people heard that, this is the one that passed with the highest number. It was 110 to 2. And quite honestly, there was only one resolution that passed without any no votes, and that almost never happens at delegate assembly. There's always people who vote no for whatever reason. But that one, people were like, that was kind of a no-brainer. So, and then the next one was, let's see, to make sure there's a grant to fund level 4 special education professional development, and it expires. And so we asked for the continuing of that, because there is a greatly high turnover in level 4. Level 4 is your highest level, your most intense needs of kids.
Okay.
And so there's a high turnover in staff. So if you give a one-time staff development grant, well, great, but then what happens when those people leave? So they don't have that training. So, and the training for them is fairly expensive. So we asked for the legislature to authorize and fund it and have it become permanent. And then we passed the legislature to fund the innovative mental health grants that were established previously by the legislature, kind of a similar thing. And then, the special education transportation for pregnant and parenting teens. So if there is a special education van that is going somewhere and they have spots open, we're advocating for pregnant and parenting teens to be allowed to ride the bus if they don't have transportation. The only concern that was brought up was, well, what if there are some kids on that bus who are, have some really challenging needs or are aggressive and things like that? And we're like, well, we would think that the people would know that, and then the pregnant and parenting teen wouldn't be on that bus, so it just kind of made sense. And that one passed 84 to 16. That was the one that was probably the most discussed, I would say. And then the last one was our emergency drills, our evacuation drills, our fire drills, where we're told by the fire marshal, the state fire marshal, that we need to conduct our, if the fire alarm goes, we have to get out of the building. Whereas we're asking for, can we actually take some time and actually evaluate the situation? Because we all know that sometimes, school shooters will do that as a way to get people out in the open. So that one I think pretty much was a no-brainer as well. I mean, people were very like, yes, thank you for bringing this up. Yes, we need to do this. So there was some other, and okay, now it signed me out, sorry. I was gonna go, I will direct you just to the MSBA Advocate, I can't talk, MSBA Advocate, and it has all of the most recent one has all of the, how it passed, what the resolution was. There was quite a few. I mean, and 17 of the 22 passed, which I think is pretty high for that. So I'm looking through.
And the ones that didn't pass were ones that MSBA was
not in favor of.
Not in favor of, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So for various reasons, whether it was because it was already in policy, and mainly that's usually what it was that it was already in their, or it was against something in their policy. There was one that was hotly debated about providing free school lunches for everyone, which works for a few school districts because of how they are doing it. They're using compensatory funding. Well, not everybody can do that, and so it failed. So it's a great thing that they're doing, but not everybody can do that. So we voted to pass to expand the use of long-term facility maintenance levy to include security improvements and emergency communication systems and devices. I think that's pretty much a no-brainer. I'm trying to think if there's
the sales tax one.
The sales tax failed.
Yeah.
They wanted to have a dedicated sales tax to support special education funding without any changes to the current funding formula. There was a decent amount of discussion about that as well, just because we want the state to actually fund it, as opposed to then them saying, oh well, you've got the sales tax, you don't need the extra funding. Well, we all know that won't work. So which one is that one? printing. Oh, yeah, that one failed by 77 to 34. The MSBA urges the legislature to grant school boards operating levy authority to be a legislative cap on voter-approved operating levy. And I'm going to go to that one in here because I want to make sure that I get that one right. So they're talking about how we districts struggle to pass voter-approved operating referendum. And so they're wanting them to grant us the authority basically to do like the cities, correct? So that we can levy. Well, people were saying, but in theory we understand that, but the fact is that the state and the federal government need to fund what they are supposed to fund. So if anybody wants to read any more of it, there was also one on sexual harassment, the definition of sexual harassment, that failed, and there's a lot of reasons why on that one, but there is a good discussion on the MSBA Advocate if anybody wants to read any further, because we've been here a while and I don't want to take up all of your time. So, but it was a great delegate assembly and it went very quickly. And I encourage, we are going to have openings for next year.
Yeah, election will be coming up. It's a 2-year term.
Yep.
And Sandy,
I'm up for,
yeah, and how it works is that we're District 13, so it's all the way from Norwood Young America to TCU to Prior Lake to Watertown to Watertown.
Yes, Watertown, yep.
And we have 6 delegates, so in January or February, an email will be going out to everybody, and then people from all of those districts can submit their names, and all of the boards will vote on who the 6 candidates are. So we'll have a ballot, and it will include, it could include people from Prior Lake, Buffalo.
And we can have more than one.
Yeah, we can have more than one.
Our board can have more than one. So I plan on applying, but if somebody else wants to, you're welcome to as well. So, and I encourage it. It's really, I've gained a lot of knowledge in doing that.
Grassroots education.
Yep.
Yeah, it is
So-
good. So on that note, just a reminder too that in April is the day at the Capitol. So
Yes, I have that on my
block that
calendar.
off. It's a great day where we can meet with the legislators and advocate for our pink sheets, our policies. So-
Absolutely.
Do you have that date memorized, Deb?
I can get it for you. Hold on.
It's usually a Monday. It's usually like the teen Monday, I believe.
Yep, I think, well, it's not though, this year. It's, I think in March for some reason, I feel like.
I'd have to pull up my MSBA.
I thought I just saw something
I
on
don't
it.
have it on my calendar.
Didn't we have it in the email? I think it was in an email recently.
Yeah, but I thought I had it on my calendar.
March
I didn't.
18th.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, okay,
March
yeah.
18th. It's early this year.
It is
it's
very
early.
early.
And I think they're doing that because this is a funding year, right? A
Oh,
funding
yes,
year?
yes.
It is a
that
funding
makes-
year.
Funding
It
year, so
is.
they moved it up. So it's gonna be
But I didn't
interesting
have it on
year.
my calendar.
Interesting year. Anything else, Sandy?
No, just safe travels if you're going anywhere for the holidays, and that's it. Yep.
Okay. Tom?
Just kind of echoing everything everyone else said. Fall sports, winter sports, been enjoying. Some concerts, elementary school concert last week, and high school today, and got some middle school this week. So, Merry Christmas, travel safe, and see you in January.
Yeah, I can't believe we
See you
don't have
next
another
year.
meeting. That's weird.
Yeah.
I attended
weird,
the
it's-
Celebration of Learning, the 5th grade Celebration
I
of
wanted to go
Learning.
to
What an incredible event.
Yeah, I went last year.
Yeah, to see, the kids did just an amazing job with their projects, and then to see the choir singing, some of the traditional Native American songs, and there had to be 300 people here. Parents and grandparents, it was, for a morning, school morning, it was just an amazing turnout, so. The only other thing I have is just a reminder that our next meeting will be the first Monday in January, because technically we're supposed to have that organizational meeting as early in, that's why it's called the first Monday in January.
7th.
Oh.
So it will be January 7th.
Oh.
And the second night of our workshop meeting will be January 21st.
So we don't have.
We do not
on the
have a
14th.
14th meeting, no, or a 28th meeting.
That makes my life so much easier.
It'll be the 7th and the 21st. And I hope that looking forward to seeing you guys at the leadership conference in January. And
Go to that.
other than that, yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. So, thanks for all you do.
Yes.
We're working on our presentation for Leadership Conference, so it's gonna be
Nice.
good. We're excited about that. We met last week, meeting again next week. We had a float in the Jordan Dazzle. We had a lot of fun with that.
It was really cool.
What's that?
It was really cool.
Yeah.
I liked
That
the
was
bus. That was
We had a good time.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's highlights wise.
We will have a,
I'm in a gym like every night.
Girls ran the table on Belle Plaine, which is a
Yeah.
highlight of their season, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So. A, B, and C all won, so they're pretty excited. So,
basketball.
yeah, girls basketball.
Great. Oh shoot, I had a thought, now I just lost it. Oh, we are planning a board dinner for the Thursday night of the leadership conference. So Matt will get more information out to us about
Including
the
directions.
logistics of this.
Including
Matt.
directions.
Oh,
Including directions, yeah.
Take care of that.
And her book, right?
I think I emailed
in
Matt
January?
the
I could make
retreat that's
January.
on the 18th.
Yes.
I'm
I
gonna
was
have to
thinking
leave
November
early
17th.
Okay.
because that's the night of the
January,
One
I
Act
can do January.
Festivals.
Oh, okay, okay.
So,
We'll do our
That's
best.
what it
to-
is.
yep,
That's fine.
so sorry.
No, that's
It's
okay.
not usually,
play-
they're
it's
on
all
till
about
8, so,
Yeah.
I could,
We
I could
play
drive back,
softball
it's
Christian
fine.
that night too.
Yeah.
Our girls.
Oh,
Oh.
we should go to dinner.
okay.
It's all right.
It's always something.
Well, there is, even like tonight, I was saying to Tom, maybe this meeting, if the choir can't move their event, and I get
Yeah.
that they need so many weeks to practice and stuff, and there's always
Sports
conflicts.
and-
There's
yeah.
just,
Yep.
we're a busy district, it's gonna continue to be busy, and not everybody can make everything. I know I had a couple parents contact me that they felt bad that their kids should have gotten an
Yes.
award, but they were in that.
Absolutely.
But, you know, they could have been in a sport or playing something too, so you just can't do it all, but maybe we can look at moving this meeting at least to 7 next year, if any of you have kids in. So that's something to keep in mind for next year, so.
Move
other
to
than
adjourn.
that, we are adjourned.